Shabbat Shalom, Israel. Welcome to another edition of Watchmen of the Faith Ministries. My name is Kasada Bar, and today's topic is the second adulterous woman. All right, we're not talking about the woman at the well here. There's another woman in the scriptures, and we need to find out this woman's identity. All right, and my question, okay, in helping us to understand what's going on here, the topic, okay, or the scripture that I'm going to be dealing with basically is the book of Yohanan, the 8th chapter. I'm going to be reading from verses 3 to 11. Okay, that's going to be the main topic, because now we're talking about the second adulterous woman, and I'm not talking about the woman at the well. But before I get started, there's some basic things that need to be understood here. First and foremost is that I look through the scriptures, and your job is to look through the scriptures. There's no scripture in the Bible, okay, where it's pertaining to another nation as the adulterous woman. I'm going to say it again. There's no scripture in the Bible where it's talking about another woman being called an adulterous woman besides the nation of Israel. And I just want to clear up again another fact. The Messiah did not marry another nation. The Messiah did not marry the Christian church. Because that's another lie that the Christian church is talking about, that the Messiah done away with the nation of Israel and he married another people. He married the Christian church. The Messiah did not marry the Christian church. The Messiah married the nation of Israel. The Messiah is the groom and Israel is the bride. The message has not changed. And what we have to do is understand the redemptive role of the Messiah. Okay? Now, I'm going to go to the book of Devarim, okay, the 26th chapter, and what I want to do is lay out a little legwork here to help us to understand the book of Yohanan, which is the book of John, the 8th chapter, so we can understand exactly who is this adulterous woman in the book of Yohanan, the 8th chapter, the 3rd verse. So let's go to, again, the book of Devarim, the 26th chapter, and I'm going to be starting with verse 17. I'm going to be talking about the marriage between the Messiah and the nation of Israel. All right? It says, "Thou hast avouched." Again, we must break down every single word so there's no misunderstanding, okay, what I'm bringing out here, what the Torah is teaching us, so that we could come into better covenant relationship with the Messiah. So the thou is referring to the nation of Israel. Thou hast avouched. The word avouched means to acknowledge or to confess. So when we put this thing now in its proper Hebraic perspective, Israel has acknowledged the Messiah this day to be thy husband. We're talking about Mount Sinai, okay? And to walk in his ways, his ways is Messiah's ways. And what is the ways of the Messiah? The ways of the Messiah is to follow Torah, to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. The word Torah means instructions. So what we have here now is that the Messiah is asking us now, okay, to follow the instructions. The ketubah is being read here. The ketubah is the instructions. What we need to do to be in covenant relationship with the Messiah. Now, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments, and to hearken unto his voice. So, Yasha Allah, there are terms and conditions to the marriage. Just because you are the biological seed, okay, comes a responsibility. And that responsibility is understanding the covenant of our forefathers. And we are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And our responsibility is to follow the Torah. Okay, we have to follow the terms and the conditions to the marriage, because we acknowledged, we confessed, and we said, I do. All right, verse 18. Now, put in mind, okay, a man and a woman at a church, okay, and we have the preacher there, and what's happening now, the preacher is asking the woman, do you agree this day to take this man as your lawful wedded husband? And then the man is asked the same question. So this is what's going on here in verse 18. Verse 18 now in the book of Devarim, okay, the 26th chapter, the 18th verse. Now the Messiah has avouched The word avouch again means, okay, to acknowledge or to confess. And so now this is read, and the Messiah hath, or he has acknowledged this day, thee to be his peculiar people, as he has promised. So when it's talking about as he has promised, remember what happened. Remember the covenant. Remember the agreement that was made with Abram, and then his name was later changed to Abraham. All right. So there was a promise made to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so we have here at Mount Sinai, the Messiah coming into covenant relationship with the nation of Israel. This is the wedding at Mount Sinai. This makes us responsible, even at this day, okay, that we have to abide by the laws, statutes, and commandment, the ketubah, the things that's written and what we are responsible for in this wedding contract. And the Messiah have avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people, as he has promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments. All of his commandments means all of his commandments we must keep. Okay, that means that the dietary law is still in effect. That's one of the biggest things that's going on here now, is that people want to eat pork. The scriptures, okay, or the instructions to be in a covenant relationship with the Messiah, we have to read Leviticus, the 11th chapter. Okay, I think it's called Varikra. Okay, we have to understand that. Varikra, the 11th chapter, explains to us that the dietary laws are still in effect, especially here, because the Messiah told us in Matthew, okay, the book of Matthew, that listen, I come not to destroy the law, I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. So I just want to bring that out right quick, that the laws, statutes, and commandments are still in effect. And one of the biggest problems that our people is having is that they want to break the law and say, listen, I'll do a little bit of this, but I won't do that. But we have to keep all of the laws in order to become or to be in covenant relationship with the Messiah. I'm going to read on. And to make thee high above all nations. So all the nations that's upon the face of the earth, the Messiah, Hamashiach, chose one nation, and that nation is the nation of Israel. Okay? The message has not changed. I'm going to read that again because that's very important. And to make thee high above all nations which he hath made. My understanding that I've gotten is that there's 18 nations on the planet Earth. And out of those 18 nations that the Messiah made, the Messiah chose one nation to carry his name for all of the other nations. Let's make that clear. All right? The other nations is supposed to see your glory, to see that the Messiah loves and he's dealing with you and that he chose you. And what's supposed to happen now is that all the other nations is supposed to follow Torah. I'm going to say it again. All nations on the planet Earth is supposed to follow Torah, and the Messiah used the nation of Israel, okay, to be his spokesperson for all of the other nations on the planet Earth. And I'm going to get into that too. What is the role of the nation of Israel? And to make thee high above all nations which he hath made, in praise and in name and in honor, and that thou mayest be a holy people, okay, spiritual people, unto the Most High thy power, as he has spoken. So again, we see that there's a responsibility that we have in carrying the name of the Messiah, Yahshua. Okay, that's very, very important. Now let's go to, we're going to stick into the book of Devarim, which means words, and we're going to go to the 27th chapter, and we're going to read the 9th verse. Okay, and Moshe, okay, which is Moses, and the priests, the Levites, spoke unto all Yasha'Allah, Israel, saying, take heed. And that's very important that we understand exactly what's going on in the scriptures here. It says take heed, it means warning. Warning. And listen, hearken, O Yasha'Allah, this day thou art become the people of the Most High thy power. In other words, thou art now man and wife. This is what this is talking about. We at that day, okay, we became the people of the Messiah. All right, we came into covenant relationship with the Messiah in the book of Devarim, the 26th chapter, 17 and 19. And then I went to the book of Devarim, the 27th chapter, the 9th verse, where it's talking about we are now man and wife. This was going on here. We are now in covenant relationship with the Messiah. Now, what I want to do also is go to the book of Devarim. I'm going to read the 23rd chapter. The 23rd chapter, I'm going to read the 21st verse. All right. Now, there's a lot of applications that can be used with the scriptures here. All right. With this particular scripture, verses 21, and I'm going to be reading to the 23rd verse. That's 23, 21 to 23. And I just want to bring out some applications that can also be applied in relation to marriage, because verses 19 to 20, this is talking about usury. You're not supposed to use usury with your brother, but you can use usury with the strangers. But again, in reference to the wedding, it's very important that we understand that verses 21 to 23 is being applied to, okay, the wedding that I talked about in the book of Devarim, the 26th chapter, 17 and 19. Okay, so I'm going to read on from there. 21. When thou shalt vow a vow, and this is what happened at Mount Sinai. We vowed a vow because we said, I do. It's very important that we understand that. When thou shalt vow a vow unto thine husband, thou shalt not slack to pay it. That means that we're obligated, okay, in following and upholding our responsibility as Israelites in the world. I'm going to read it again. Thou shalt not slack to pay it. You're obligated to be this people. The Messiah died, okay, to cleanse us of the death penalty that was written against us, because the sin, okay, for not following the laws, statutes, and commandments, the adulterous woman, which is the nation of Israel, was supposed to die. Okay, so we have to make sure as a people and as individuals, okay, that we understand thou shalt not slack to pay it, meaning that we have to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. It's very important that we understand that. For the Messiah, thy husband, shall surely require it of thee. So the Messiah is expecting us to abide by the terms and the conditions of the marriage. I'm going to read it again. For the Most High, thine husband, shall surely require it of thee, and and it should be sin in thee. Verse 22. But if thou shalt forbear to vow it, it shall be no sin into thee. Now, what does this mean? In other words, if we didn't agree, okay, to come into covenant relationship with the Messiah, fine, no problem. Then we cannot be called the people of the Messiah. We couldn't be called the bride. But we said, I do. So this makes us responsible for the terms and the conditions of the marriage. We are responsible people. The reason why we are the condition that we're in today, the reason why we're at the bottom of the totem pole, is because we broke the laws, statutes, and commandments. So this makes the nation of Israel an adulterous woman. I'm going to say it again. The reason why collectively as a community, all right, because I brought out a series on Israel is a community, we broke the laws, statutes, and commandments. So the penalty for that is that instead of the head, we made the tail. All right? Very easy to understand. Verse 23. That which is gone out of thy lips, which when we said, I do, thou shalt keep and perform the laws, statutes, and commandments. I'm going to read it again. That which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform, even a free will offering, according as thou hast vowed unto the Messiah, thine husband, which thou hast promised with thine mouth. We promised, okay, that we would do these laws, statutes, and commandments. I can't say that enough. You're responsible. The reason why things are the way that they are because we broke the laws, statutes, and commandments. It's very important that we remember what happened at Mount Sinai. We broke the laws, statutes, and commandments. Now the nation of Israel is called a whore and adulterous woman. With that, I say